Hi, and welcome once again to Stone Soup.
The world according to sci-fi geeks.
Fall is once again upon us, and the season premieres of all the TV series are happening.
Yep.
Now, I'm old enough to remember when literally all the TV series happened in 1 week. They don't do that anymore. I think somebody
Thank
woke
goodness.
up and smelled the coffee and said, hey, you know what? If we stagger them, we get more chances to get people to see our show. So, we actually only have like 6 things, I think, to talk about. Monday, there was Castle.
Yes.
We love Castle. But we knew, you'll recall the end of the last season, what happened at the funeral.
Yes.
Beckett was injured, shot. We knew she wasn't going to die. There was never any doubt in our minds that she would bounce back and be walking around by the, at least the middle of this episode.
Yeah, we
this
call
new
this
episode.
sort of thing false suspense. Because when you know that if the worst actually happened, the show is over, then very obviously, unless you already know the show is ending, the worst is not going to happen. So there's no real suspense there. It's fake.
Yeah. Now, due to the what happened in the series finale last season, they had to get a new boss.
Yep.
The new boss is Captain Victoria Gates, a hard-ass female.
Yep.
And, of course, her reaction to having a civilian writer on the, following her detectives around was, get out.
Less than positive?
This is less than positive. No, she told him to get. And don't come back. I don't
Kicked
need
her
you.
out.
So Castle talked to his pal, the mayor, who called Captain Gates and said, no, he gets to follow people around because he's my friend. Yeah, that's going to go over like a lead balloon. Oh, she's going to let him come back, but she is going to be on his case continuously.
Frankly, she'll probably be trying to get rid of him for most of the season.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I think that's exactly what they should do. She's trying to get rid of him until he saves her life.
Right.
I don't know that he will. I have no inside information, but
Saves
that
her
would
life,
be
cracks a huge case, something to endear
the,
himself
both
to her.
simultaneously.
Yeah.
That would totally do it. But anyway, I still think, but before that happens, there should be a lot of negative repercussions.
Because frankly, when it comes right down to, he might be the mayor, but it's overreaching for him to do this.
Yeah.
And it's not really right. And she has every right to be pissed at both him and at Castle.
Yeah. On Tuesday, there was NCIS. I love NCIS. I love
I do too.
Gibbs, and I love McGee, and
I love Abby and Ducky and Jimmy and Tony. Tony, I like Tony, I do. But even it's like, okay, could you please stop acting like a 10-year-old?
You're like 43, for heaven's sakes. Oh, and Ziva. Ziva
Love
is
Ziva.
our very, very favorite. I
We just love
I
it
loved
when the women
Kate,
kick
I did,
ass.
but Ziva is, I adore that woman. Anyway.
She's awesome.
Yeah, she's totally awesome.
Now,
But the reason we said all that is because I really didn't like last season. I don't know why. It put me off. It put me off so
I
much that I
liked it
can
okay.
barely remember anything of note that happened in the
I like
entire
it okay, but
freaking
different
season.
opinions.
And so when they started up again, I was lost. I was like, wait, huh?
No.
Tony got shot? Did Tony get shot in the season finale? And she says, no.
Oh.
They're just saying that now. He just got shot.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
No, last season finale ended with him being given yet another secret mission,
Mission.
which was wrapped up in this first episode of the season. So, thank goodness for that. I mean, they already did the Tony on the ongoing secret mission with Jean. Okay, I'm not even sure which season that is because we've been watching it on USA and we don't know which season is what.
Yeah, they just scramble them. We have to go by, well, it was, if Kate was there, it was one of the first 2 seasons. Otherwise, it was after that. That's as close as we get. We've never even seen them in order. We have no freaking idea.
Oh, well.
And that's okay because we still adore it.
I think CSI started the idea of the crime drama with the one case that kind of underlines the whole season. And I've seen it work really well. I've seen it kind of fail. What they did this last season on NCIS, the port-to-port killer, one of the weaker efforts.
And I don't know why. I mean, the idea was sound. It should have been.
I don't know. Maybe it's just that NCIS isn't, well, no, because they've done it before, again, with Tony's relationship with Jean. That was part of an ongoing story arc.
And they did that brilliantly.
I don't know. They just...
Maybe they just got some new writers and they just aren't as good.
That's always possible.
But anyway.
But...
So we can't say a whole lot about that because I could barely absorb it. I just didn't understand what was going on because I was trying to relate it back to the previous. I'll have to watch the episode again.
But I will say, in case it isn't already obvious, this is totally spoilerific, this whole episode, but of us. Was it really necessary to kill the whole other team that we met last season? I mean, I didn't like them all that much, but all you had to do was send them back to Spain.
And I didn't dislike them. I just kind of didn't like the squad room suddenly being filled with a whole second team.
Yeah.
I mean, there was always people over those walls, but we don't talk to them. We're about Gibbs and his people.
Yes.
And
So it was a
me.
little off-putting. Like I said, I didn't hate them. I didn't love them. I wasn't sorry to see them go, but was it necessary for them all to be killed?
Seemed a little excessive.
It's a little harsh, man. A little harsh.
Maybe it's going to turn out that Blondie's not such a good guy. Well, she's still alive, right?
Well, we don't know. Tony's memory of that night is that all three of them got shot, but
She
her body,
disappeared.
she has not been found.
Yeah.
He got found. The big guy's body got found. She is in the wind. Dead, alive, we don't know.
I reckon we'll find out.
Presumably.
Also on, no, that was Tuesday. Now, Wednesday, on to Wednesday.
Yes.
Two things. CSI and SVU.
Yes.
We saw CSI first because they were on opposite each other and we had to shift SVU. And this was a bunch of new stuff too because at the end of last season, well, actually,
If you
they
all
made
may
some
recall-
changes they weren't actually planning to make because Lawrence Fishburne decided not to come back. And they didn't,
well.
they didn't even get
You're
him to
just-
come back for the first couple of episodes so they could write him out. They just,
It always makes things a little awkward when the actors won't do that.
well, I think he was busy or something.
Well, yeah, I mean, he has at least one new movie out right now.
Yeah, so, but
So, what can you do?
yeah,
Look at
he really
schedules.
should have come back for like at least one episode. They did talk about him.
Yes, quite a bit, actually.
We did find out that a lot of these changes are fallout from what he did, his character did, Ray
What
did,
Ray did, yes.
at the end of the last season.
Which does make sense.
Yeah, it does. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, we have a new supervisor as done by Ted Danson, DB. Okay, I forget what his last name is, but his first initials are DB.
Yeah.
Remember that because, Nick kind of made a face and went, seriously? And he went, yeah, go figure.
Oh, on account of DB is what they call dead body. That's how they refer to a dead body. We've got a DB. Okay.
Yep.
So-
And he's all kind of weird and eccentric and married. I'm hoping sooner or later we'll actually meet his wife.
And I mean, I was reading that, they're going to have a nice, normal married person for a change. And then you meet this guy, it's like, okay, married,
Normal.
yes. Normal, not so much. I mean, he's a fruitcake.
Yes.
But
One must assume.
he's Ted Danson. I mean, he's silver-haired and his face is lined and he's so yummy you could just eat him up with a spoon.
If she says so.
And Ted Danson's just really a wonderful actor.
Uh-huh.
And hopefully we will warm up to his character a little more.
Yes. I mean, it
But,
took us a little while to warm up to Ray, but that was more the fault of the writing.
Yeah,
Because
and
they
I
tried to force him on us too hard.
Yeah, and I still miss Gil.
Oh, yes. Totally miss Gil. Loved
Totally.
Gil. Miss him.
Yes.
I miss
He brought
Warwick.
yeah. Well, can't bring him back.
No, he's
A
dead.
little, his brains got splattered. Oh, that would be bad. That wouldn't even be good
Yes.
zombieism.
No. The problem is that the cast is now Lily White.
I mean, they have Archie, but we didn't see him. He may be making
Yes.
a movie or something.
I think that's
Archie's
what I
Asian.
read.
Archie's
Yes.
Asian. But
And
at,
he's their video tech.
yeah, at this point, there are no faces of color anywhere.
That's not really
and,
good.
And
you
that's
know?
not so good. I mean, they've
mean, we're-
always had at least one or two people who were not white. And now, not so much.
I'm sure they didn't do that on purpose, but
It
they
just
need to
worked
do
out
something
that
about
way.
that.
Yeah, they need to do something about that. And it better not include firing Nick or any of the long-term people. Or
Yes.
they will shut down the series. It's getting iffy as it is.
Yes.
And they need to bring Wendy back.
Rather, we liked Wendy. I mean, her and
I like her and
Hodgins.
Hodgins kind of, working their way towards each other.
Yes. Female nerds night.
Yeah.
And speaking of
gorgeous
cast,
female nerd.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, bring her back right now.
and
Anyway.
speaking of cast changes, the other new show on Wednesday was SVU.
And oh boy,
Ooh.
Stabler is gone.
And again, Christopher Maloney did not come back, so they could write him out that way. I mean, they talked about him all through the episode,
Oh yeah.
but we never actually saw him. So again, it's a little awkward to do it that way. It can work, but it feels a little better if we actually see them, so we can have a proper goodbye.
Yeah.
Now, after the rather messy shooting in the middle of the precinct at the end of last season, having Sailor finally decide that, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I mean, let's be frank, he's had issues for years.
And
It
he's
makes
been shot
sense.
himself several times.
You know, him deciding now's the time to stop before he finally loses what few marbles he has left, it makes sense. But again, it would have been nice to actually just see him one last time in Kragen's office.
And, you know, he wouldn't necessarily have to leave the police force, which is what they had him doing, retiring. He could have moved over to robbery,
White-collar crimes? Something.
white-collar crimes, something. Well, homicide just doesn't sound like it'd be a whole lot safer than where he was. But, you know, but they had him retire. I suppose because they are pretty sure they're not going to be, we're not be seeing him again. Which sounds like they didn't part in very good company.
Doesn't need.
But
Now, we've already met one new detective. We know there's going to be a
Yeah.
second one. A young lady whose name escapes me. But she's supposed to be from, where's she from? Atlanta?
I don't know. She made such a weak impression on me, I don't remember.
Well, mostly what, John?
Florida.
No. She's Southern. She's a Brenda ripoff. I remember her because the way she spoke, the way she held herself was very much like Brenda Lee Johnson. It's like
of the closer.
Oh, the closer, yes. So it's like, you know, trying to hoping to catch some of the closer audience there, folks.
Possibly.
Now
I adore closers.
Now, I will give them points that they didn't do all the cast changes that are currently planned right there in the first episode, because that just would have been too much.
Yeah, way
We know
too
there's
much.
going to be another new detective, a man, and apparently Olivia is going to be put into a new position.
So that Mariska Hargitay doesn't have to come to work every single day.
She wants to take time off to be with her babies.
Yeah.
Can't really blame her for that. But
Yeah.
that does mean that Captain Kragen is either going to get moved somewhere or forced to retire. And I certainly hope he'll be moved somewhere and we'll still see him, because otherwise she just put him out of a job. And that kind of makes her a bitch.
Yeah.
Pardon my language.
No, I agree with you. If she demanded, because she's the big star, that she get whatever she wants and he gets fired just so they make room for her, and I'll tell you what, she's not worth it. If they're going to move her off so she's like the boss and she's just handing out assignments, she's not going to get to do enough to make it worthwhile anyway.
This is true.
I don't care if she does have an Emmy. Big, fat, hairy deal.
Yes.
She's not going to be carrying the show anymore
Nope.
because she's not going to be investigating crimes. Oh, and by the way, on CSI, we forgot to mention Eckley, who runs the whole thing, this whole CSI lab
Yeah.
thing. His daughter's coming in as one of their new CSIs. And
Yes.
I just think, talk about your conflict of interest, that could be problematic.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay, on to Thursday. We're getting a high sign there to speed it up. We still have two things to get to. Mentalist. Oh, boy.
He basically got out of shooting that man through jury nullification. He never denied shooting him. He actually said in his closing statements that he has the right to kill the man who killed his family, and the jury let him off.
Yeah, which is entirely possible. I mean, the man he killed, whom he thoroughly believed to be Red John at the time, Red John didn't just kill his family, he tortured them before he killed them. You want this man dead.
Yes.
So, yeah, I could see getting the jury to nullify. I don't see how the CBI, CBI would ever hire Jane back, though, or let him in their offices again, or
He can't be
anything
trusted.
else.
Any defense attorney worth his salt can just point to Jane and say, he's insane. If he thought this person worked for Red John or was Red John again, he could have killed him.
Yeah,
Dr. Jane is the perfect scapegoat for any defense attorney.
yeah. And,
So-
he is dangerous. He's a very dangerous man. He thinks he gets to kill anybody he doesn't like,
Pretty much. You know what?
or anybody he thinks is Red John anyway.
At the end
And
of
he's
the
only marginally sane at this point, and that's obvious.
yeah.
And maybe they thought, oh, well, Mulder was only marginally sane. Mulder was never this kind of insane.
No.
Mulder was only insane if he was wrong, and he wasn't wrong.
Yes. So
Onward to Friday because we're getting the high sign. Supernatural. Yes, Supernatural is
Supernatural.
back. I kind of preferred it back when the boys were having fun just killing themselves some, to quote, evil sons of bitches, unquote. But-
Just the old normal stuff, the
Yeah.
old myths and legends and what have you.
All that good stuff. Just demons, whatever, but things are getting really messy.
Yeah.
But you'll remember Castiel had become God, or at least thought he had. They took care of that in the first episode.
Yes.
But now the being that was Castiel
He's kind of
He's no longer God.
no.
Some of the souls that he had taken in, they tried to pull him out. And they pulled out most of them, but there were a couple of really nasty ones that grabbed onto his rib cage and refused to come out, and then killed Castiel. And so now the host, the being we know as Castiel, is not Castiel, and he's now an evil son's a bitch. And the boys are going to have to try and kill him. And whatever's inside of him is big and bad because it was able to kill an angel.
Well, it says it killed Castiel. There's a small chance that they're lying or wrong. We can hope.
Yeah.
But in the meantime,
because he's such a cutie.
In the meantime, Misha Collins gets to do some new and interesting acting.
But and it looks like it's going to get real ugly before they resolve these issues. But Sam and Dean are back and in good form, and Dean fixed the car.
Yep.
Again.
Yep. And Bobby is still alive.
Bobby's still there. Yay! So we can't wait for the next episode.
Well, we'll see what
we're getting the high
takes
time.
us.
We need to wrap this up. So we can't wait to see all these series again, and we hope they get better and better and better. And bye-bye.